Today, I attempted to do a speedrun of the legendary Flash game Duck Life. This is my first try, so I'm keeping my expectations in check and I'm going to be shooting for world record. As I'm sure you all know, the lore behind Duck Life runs deep, but seeing as how this is a speedrun, I don't have the time to explain the extended universe, but I'll explain what I can. You own this huge farm and are making tonies of money, when one day a tornado comes along and destroys it all. The last surviving object at the center of humanity is what else but one single duck egg. You have to train this duckling into a supersonic racing duck, also you can earn back enough money to rebuild the farm. Starting off, I immediately launch into the running section of the game. Hold on a second, I forgot to start my timer. The core of Duck Life is to train up your 4 skills to the best of your ability. These skills are running, flying, swimming, and energy. Running has us dodging what looks to be boulders and small breadcrumbs being rolled our way. I started off with this section first because, well, I don't know. With that session, we've already achieved level 12 in running, so I bet I'm pretty close to the max level. Moving on, we're going to be diving into the swimming section. Unlike running, we have full control over our movement in the water, as this is the duck's natural domain. This minigame has us jumping over giant icebergs, swimming under massive yachts, anything we can do to avoid being stopped on our path. This was definitely my favorite minigame growing up, and I even know a secret move you can pull off, but I'll wait to show you later. After face planting into the island of Matanui, I end our swimming session at a solid level 13, so I bet the max is level 14. It is at this point I decide to enter a race. My swimming and running skills are both exceptional, so I expect them to carry me. I'm dead. Turns out that energy is actually very important, seeing that I can't perform any of these other tasks if I don't have the stamina to do so. The way you increase your energy is by feeding your duck lots and lots and lots of these seeds. These yellow ones give a very minuscule amount, while the blue ones give a lot more. After gaining a bit of energy, I figured I would give another race a shot. I clicked on a random one and it happened to be a test of flying. I haven't done flying yet. Time for flying training. This minigame has us soaring over the water for as long as we possibly can, collecting coins along the way. I got bored 6 levels in and wanted to attempt another race. I booted into the first possible race, Green Valley, and just barely, by the tip of my duck feathers, came in first. Winning a race earns you a nice hefty sum of cash, so feeling ecstatic after the win, I treat my duck to more of what is probably the steroid equivalent of duck seed. After that, it's back on the training grind as me and my unnamed duck friend work to get our levels up. Evolving at an exponential pace, we dodge every possible obstacle in our way and work tirelessly for roughly 2 minutes. Feeling strong and ready, we enter the final race of level 1, absolutely blitzing the competition in the foot race, soaring so elegantly off the cliff before arriving at the lake where we ran out of stamina once again. Back to the fields, I trained my flying up a bunch more and managed to complete yet another race, which earns me just enough money to feed my duck's growing seed addiction. I went to train some swimming, then died on the first obstacle, so never mind, it's race time. Taking on the final race of level 1, I just barely, and I mean barely, squeak out enough energy to win. That being said, I certainly didn't have any trouble with my opponents as they got disqualified due to my sheer utter speed. There's no time to rest though, jumping straight back into training beginning with swimming. And now that I've gained enough levels in speed, I can perform that secret technique I was talking about. I'm embarrassed and I don't want to play anymore. I decide to tackle another race solely to inflate my ego because I know I will destroy the competition with my speed, which I do. Look at you. Pathetic. It's been a while since I partook in some flying, so let's go ahead and train that. Something I have noticed is that your initial burst of speed you get from taking off seems to be a lot more valuable than just flying for the sake of flying, meaning it actually seems a bit smarter to send your duck straight into the drink and restart once you slow down. I do this several times, each time feeling only less and less remorseful before moving back into running. I haven't played this game quite as much as the others because its fun level is like staring at a soggy wet piece of bread. Also, I'm bad. All this training isn't without results though, as hopping back into races reveals we're truly following the path to becoming a duck god. I'm able to secure the bag of not 1 but 2 races, getting us some more coin, also I can buy copious amounts of this glorious seed. After feeding the duck child for 34 seconds straight, it's time to go back to swimming. Once again, we're back here and it's at this point I discovered a cool hat in the shop. I didn't have enough funds at the time, so I beat the ever-living shit out of my opponents in some races for money and acquired myself the cool hat. I can only assume the world record run also calls for this strategy. Feeling ever so confident, I decide to attempt an expert race, but hold on, it seems that we've got a cheater in our lobby as this green guy is clearly nullifying the powers of my cool hat. It seems I'll have to train up just a bit more before I can take him down. Heading back to the swimming training, back in the soggy bread training, I execute my holding up technique. this only works a third of the time. And here I realize just how far my levels have grown since the start. It seems I've broken past the level 14 barrier, a feat most players could only ever hope to do. Now it was time to head back to challenge the big green cheater. And would you look at that, he's still cheating. I had fallen way behind and was just about to quit out of the race when big green made a fatal mistake by entering the water, my natural domain. Something inside had awoken, and through overwhelming speed we overtook every single one of them, claiming victory for ourselves and holding a celebration the only way we know how. 48 seconds of seed indulging later, I finish up the very last of the races to be done before we can attempt the World Championship. Thanks to our incredible race record, we've been chosen to race against the World Champion themselves. Winning would allow us all the money needed to rebuild our farm. My stats were high, my passion and heart even higher, and this duck would not stand in our way. I'm gonna quit. It seems as though for the first and last time ever, I found a worthy opponent. Finally, I'm going to have to actually try. Flying, easy. I drowned my duck, consecutively earning points and stats by the second. Swimming, finally I can use my secret technique I've been waiting for. It's called the dwoop. Running. I avoid doing any actual running, instead opting to finish it off the only way I really know how, through seed technology. With that, each stat I have was capped out and maxed out as much as it possibly could be. There was no more work to be done. There was nothing more I could do but watch as perfection was achieved. During the final race against the world champion, I wasn't happy about the money I'd get to rebuild the farm or even the ultimate life form I had created. I was simply happy about the journey I got to go on, the feeling of winning and losing I got to experience, and the buying of one really cool hat. All this was done so we could become the new world champion. Finishing out my duck life speedrun at 21:40, a time I imagine many could only hope to achieve. I'm assuming this is the world record, and if it's not, and for example, say I got 350th place on the leaderboards, well, that would mean everyone above me is cheating. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Comment down below if you'd like me to play Duck Life 2, or if you want a really cool hat.